All right, so today for this one, I have my Mark 23. I'm probably one of the few people that did not buy this because of Metal Gear Solid. Now, for those of you who are actually kind of keenly observant, can tell it doesn't have a threaded barrel on it. I actually went through and bought an aftermarket barrel from HK to be non-threaded. Now, I know some people are going to say that's stupid, and to some it is, but I still have the threaded barrel if I ever wish to suppress it. I'm also thinking about getting the compensator from HK for this just because I think it looks cool, and then I could use it for whatever. Now, I have 40 rounds for it of just regular ball FMJ ammo because I have two 10-round mags that I have plugged to 8, like 7-ish, 8. Because since I live in Michigan, I have thought about hunting with this gun, and a 45 ACP can't easily take a white-tailed deer. And for hunting with this, per hunting with a pistol, the gun cannot hold more than 9 rounds, including the one in the chamber. I don't agree with it, but it's the law for hunting with a pistol. And since I typically suck with this gun because I over-anticipate like a mother, we'll see how it goes for a couple shots. I don't think I've shot this gun in over, a couple years. Okay, so apparently I'm shooting it better than I was shooting the Para. You know what? Let's go ahead and put it in a double action, which is probably the dumbest thing. We'll see if I can run a bill drill, and hopefully we'll see if I can even count 6 rounds properly. That was 6 for 3.47 for anyone who may wish to see it. Hopefully that zoomed in well enough. Yeah, I am by no means the greatest, trying to get better, but I figured it'd be fun to talk about some of the guns that I like. Yeah, this thing is just massive, but it's not too heavy, and it's a barrel of fun. Now that I have a better idea where I'm supposed to hold with this thing, like, I still wish H&K would release some night sights for it. Do they need to? No, but it would be nice for anyone who may want to use this as a home defense gun. I would love to see them release a new model and also release a slide that you can buy that is already optic cut. I know you can buy the things to put in to run an optic on the rear sight instead of having rear sights. I don't know how much I'd like that. Good God, I'm going to make myself look like a good shooter because of using this. I mean, granted, I'm only at like 12 yards shooting at steel targets because I can and that. So, last mag, and then I'll show what I'm actually shooting at from the distance. No. We'll run 2 bill drills. Actually, no, we're going to do 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and see how that goes. Ah, 75%. So we'll try it again, but except for we'll go from 2 on the left to 2, or 2 on the right to 2 on the left. Yeah, and 75. All right, that is 4 rounds left, so we'll do just 4 rounds on one target. So I do 25% for that one. So to kind of show what I'm shooting at, I'm sitting about here. To give a better idea of like what's going on for it, yeah, the targets are a little bit bigger than the actual gun. Get out of here, bug. So it's something, you know, it's about 8 to 10 inches. So not terrible, not the greatest target, not the worst. But that was my Mark 23 with 40 rounds of 45 ACP. I think I'll probably do a tabletop portion of this as well to go after the shooting. But yeah, for like a pretty expensive gun and that whole thing that's bone stock, and like I said, all I did was change the barrel to one that's threaded or non-threaded. You can get one that's flush or one that goes a little further like mine does. You know, I just didn't feel like dealing with a thread protector, getting stuck on there, because sometimes they can seize a bit when you're if you're shooting with a thread protector on. I wanted to save the thread protector and not have the threaded barrel to not have the threads get messed up if I ever did buy a suppressor for it. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so to continue off where I actually left on the tabletop, on the shooting portion, not the tabletop, this is the tabletop. As I said before, I am probably one of the few people who went out and bought a Mark 23 purely because I thought it was cool after having owned only one other H&K gun, and I think at the time I had also shot my buddy's USP. I bought a P30 back in the day. I still own it. Great gun, pretty terrible trigger compared to a lot of guns. And because of the issues I was having with the thread protector, because it came with that, if you overshoot it or over tighten it, it can become extremely difficult to take off, depending how you go to do things. So, I mean, I was using a set of clamps so I wouldn't take like vice grips to it to try to get the thread protector off. So I had gone onto H&K's parts website, found a barrel. They have two different variations. I had originally bought the wrong one that was the flush one. Contacted them. They were super nice, canceled the order, was able to order this one properly, got in, install. Now, one of the things I don't think I did mention in the shooting portion was that before I pulled this out of my safe and cleaned it about 20 minutes ago, I hadn't cleaned this since the last time I had shot in it, which was probably at least 4 years ago. Which is one of the nice things about polymer framed handguns. You don't necessarily have to worry as much and feel as bad about it. I mean, some people would get mad due to the fact of this being, a more expensive gun. Upwards into the about 1800 is where I've seen a lot of them. I think they might have come down, but for a still produced but limited ran gun, it's super fun. I still want to get some more mags for it. I'd like to get some of the ones with a mag extension that can add, like, I think it's 4 or more rounds potentially even. I know H&K's website does it. One day I'll get something that'll go into here. I might look at one of the God, I gotta stop saying one of the replica LAMs. It's probably gonna be smaller because to find an actual laser aiming module for a Mark 23 is super difficult and extremely expensive. But yeah, this is just, it's a really great gun for the fact that you want to carry it because of hunting or back camping, backpacking. You could still run it in the traditional 1911 sense of cocked and locked. You can also just decock it and run it like you would a lot of the other ones. It's one of the few that comes with both of that, to where your decocker is not a part of your safety. I mean, like I said, all in all, I still wish they would like offer something to where you could have at least some form of a front night sight. I like that as the minimum. I still prefer typically both to have night sights, but that's just personal preference. I may look into getting the little uh wow rail that also has a little comp on it that isn't really going to do anything other than add more forward weight, which would still do the same thing if I were to go get the thread protector, not the thread protector, get the pick rail and then add a light to it, which is going to put it down here, maybe here-ish. I'm not 100%. I mean, in all reality, the Mark 23 is more of a fun gun to me, and for anyone who has gone through and uh, fired these, they've got a good trigger. They're a fun gun. They are forward heavy just because of how massive they are. I think one of my favorite stories is I met a guy at the range when I was in New Mexico, stationed at Clovis, and he had a USP 45. It was either an elite or expert. And I was like, oh man, I got my Mark 23 with me. You want to do a, we'll swap mags since they're both about like 12 rounds or so and shoot each other's guns. And he went, yeah, that's cool. So I shot his first. And I was like, wow, man, that's a really nice gun. Shoots really good. And he goes, well, it is a $1,300 gun. I was like, bro, you realize you're holding my Mark 23, right? He goes, oh yeah, that's very true. And he enjoyed shooting this as well. So it's not going to be for everyone. Uh, I still will say I like its grip better than I have of like holding uh, a lot more of the larger frame Glocks. The larger frame Glocks have grown on me. It's definitely got a nicer grip than the FN X45 Tactical. I know some people are gonna get mad at me for that. I don't own one yet, but I have held them in several occasions and just I don't like the grip. I can't compare this to the 45 ACP Beretta PX4 Storm. I would like to get one of those. I don't hate 45 ACP or 9mm or any of those. I like a lot of different calibers, but there's only a few 45 ACPs I want left. So I think I'm about through all but just my 1911s for 45 ACP. I'm going to have to go through my guns again. I know that's not all of them for the caliber of that, of a 45, because I've still got a couple of my revolvers I could do, like my Governor or my 460. But yeah, super fun gun for anyone who owns one, for anyone who's looking to get one. It's a bit pricier. It's going to be hard to find, or somewhat harder to find mags, especially hard to find uh, holsters for. But seriously, if you want a gun that's just going to run like a champ, I will say this or a USP 45. I don't, from everything I've seen, I don't know about the HK 45, but yeah, these guns are just super cool. If I could ever find a conversion to 10 millimeter, I might try that. But until then, I mean, you can't go wrong with this gun. It's so fun, and I was surprised I did as well with it as I did. So until the next video, thanks for watching.